Go to games, don't buy no food.
That's ridiculous.
He was literally world class. No, he was definitely world class. It's not even up for debate.
He desperately needed to sign players.
At the right price, everyone's available.
What's going on, people? We're back. Football Frenzy Podcast. Myself, Jamie Goon, Philip, Flashing Lights, and Fazmanian Devil. We've spoken about some of the weekend results, but now it's transfer deadline day. At this approximate time, it's 9:15. We have an hour and 45 minutes left until the window slams shut. There's been some big signings. There's been some very big signings over this transfer window. But today, man, how many have Man United made today? 3?
2, isn't it? What, signings or bids?
Cavani, Tellez, and the 18-year-old is for January, but you signed him now.
And apparently we've signed like some other kid, Pellestri, as well, apparently, a Uruguayan right winger as well. Another 18-year-old, funnily enough.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so we 3 or 4. 3 or 4, but...
How you feeling?
It's underwhelming because, to be honest with you, it's like the players that we've signed are not players that we necessarily needed to sign today. Like, this could have been done like a month ago. Like, it's not like Cavani's been a free agent for however long. Like, he could have been wrapped up time ago if that was the plan. Like, the problem is that it's a panic buy. And for me, Cavani is obviously a better option than Igalo as a backup striker, if that's what they're bringing him in for. But like I said, it wouldn't have been what they would have planned to get. He wouldn't have been the person that they would have initially thought to get in. The same with Tellez. I think Tellez, we've been sort of in for Tellez for quite a while and monitoring him, but at the same time, I know that he wasn't our first choice. Reguilon was our first choice, and then obviously we've ended up with our second choice. The problem is that it was a £15 million fee, and they've spent the last 3 or 4 weeks negotiating it. Like, only to it's 15 mil on it. Like, I know he's in his last year of his contract, so I think United were basically saying, well, look, like, you got to take kind of what we're giving you, or in 3 months' time when we hit January, we'll just sign him up for free in it. So I understand from a business point of view why they're doing it, but you know what? It's 10-15 mil. Just pay the money, get the signing done, and move on. And like, don't waste your time on that kind of stupidness. And then the other 2 are just prospects, isn't it? Like, I've had a bit of a look at them, but they're 18. They're not, they're not putting up any trees in any big European clubs or anything at the minute. So it's something that I don't see either of them coming in. Say that again.
What positions do they play? One is a wide attack, I believe, on the right, but he's left-footed.
Traore and Pellestri, they're both right wingers. But Pellestri is a right-footed right winger, and then the Ahmed Traore is a left-footed right winger. So yeah, they're both right wingers. They'll probably, whether they both come in and challenge or whether the one comes in and then they go back on loan, I don't know, because obviously one's not coming until January anyway. And then obviously Tellez as a left back. I think Tellez is probably the best signing out of the bunch for me.
That's mad. He's probably the only signing that you signed that will go straight into your first team.
Yeah. Like, the rest of them are just sort of buffing up the squad. Obviously, Cavani will get to play straight away because obviously Martial is suspended. But other than that, I think when we play our first team, I think Martial will still be ahead of Cavani unless Cavani comes in and absolutely hits the ground running. But
he's then move Martial wide, and Cavani does just become your centre forward. I mean, but then he is a better centre forward.
But that means taking out either taking out Rashford or playing one of them on the right. And I think we know historically that playing Marcus Rashford or Martial on the right-hand side doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work. It's never worked. Like, Mourinho tried it. It didn't work. Van Gaal tried it at one point when we had... who did we have at the time? No, Van Gaal didn't try it, sorry. Mourinho tried it, obviously, because we had Ibra, and it just didn't work. Never worked.
So overall, what would you rate your transfer window out of 10?
6.
Okay, it's still reasonably
6. I think
above average.
I think the problem is I don't think we addressed the issues that we probably needed to address. I think we needed a centre back, and I think we could probably get away without a DM, but I think we needed a centre back, and we probably it would have been nice to get a DM in there. Whereas
I'm not gonna lie, I would have rated it lower than that. Just for the fact of what you're, I would have rated it lower for the fact of what you're saying. That like, although you've bolstered your squad, yeah, you've got in a couple. You've got 2 relatively unknown teenagers. Cavani, who seemed like it was a panic buy because Martial's got a red card. Like, and
no, well, the Cavani thing was bubbling from before yesterday, so it wasn't like they've started doing it because Martial.
Yeah. But like, that still seems like a panic. That still seems kind of like a panic buy, just because you haven't got anyone else in up front, because you didn't get targets that you wanted. Obviously, Dembele obviously died. The Dembele died, so it's just like you need to get someone attacking in. And obviously Cavani's free and he needs somewhere to go in it, do you know what I mean? And then the only one to me that Donny van de Beek, although he's a good signing, he doesn't improve your 11 because he is instead of one of your midfielders. Like Tellez is like the signing for you. I feel like Luke Shaw is the weak link in your team. Like he's like out of your fullbacks. I don't think he's to scratch for where you don't want to be. I don't think he's good enough for United. Like he might have had a period when he first came before he got that first injury, and he's had little periods here and there where he's looked good in between injuries. But I just on the whole, I don't think he's good enough for United, especially where you want to eventually get. Like I don't think I don't feel like he's a Champions League left back.
Okay, so they've addressed that issue then. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that's your best signing. Like, I think that's what I'm saying. Tellez is your best signing because that's the issue.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, but other than that, like I don't feel like
I get that, and I think
signings have been considering you need reinforcements. Like you need better quality in your first 11 to make the next step for the team. Like the next step on where you're like Man United's journey, you haven't really improved 11 bar one player for all the signings that you've made. And I feel like you say all
the signings. I mean, realistically, we've only really made 3 signings in it. Like the two kids are not like I don't even think like obviously Traore is not coming until January anyway, so that's not a signing for now, innit? And then the other kid's 18 and he's never played in Europe, so like he's not gonna come into the like.
Have you signed a contract? They've signed contracts. They're signings, bro. Like there's still 5 signings. Isn't it? You've made 5 signings. Like,
yeah, but they're not.
Like, you can't say they're not really signings.
Yeah, but they're not for the first team. We also signed a 16-year-old centre back today. Well, but like he's not a signing for the first team, innit? Like I don't know if those 2 players are gonna come in and play first team football, is what I'm saying, innit?
I feel like Traore probably will. I don't know who this Pellestri is, but Traore when he comes,
he
will be in the first team.
Yeah, but Traore doesn't come in until January anyway. So like, while it's a signing and it's been made now, it's kind of like saying, okay, well, when Chelsea signed Pulisic in January, like, have they addressed their issue? No, because he can't play for the next 6 months. Like, so I can't really make a comment on him as he's technically a January signing. We've just done the deal now, if that makes sense. It's just because we can't do anything with it now, so it's not really worth talking about him as a signing for now, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. I've signed him.
So everyone's available.